Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the game that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Somebody started playing it, not knowing what it was. And he'll continue playing it forever just because it's, whatever. This is Missile Zenith. Last time we were here was a fair bit ago. It was long enough ago that I remember. I checked. We don't have any quests, but what am I even talking about? What? Shift C. I'm trying to remember these hotkeys again. I meant to make more videos more often. It turned into... What the heck? Why is it not... Okay. So, back to whatever I was saying. Get this cord out of my mouth. Last time... Why am I defending? Why am I using no weapon? What? I'm doing great right now, guys. How are you? Ugh. Oh, man. Apparently it's been several months since last I played this. I rewatched my last video trying to figure out what I was doing. And all the information that I got from that was pretty much that I got quested like 3 times. I got quested for Just of Locating. I wasn't able to find it, and so I unleveled back like almost as far as I leveled up. Also remember we were training Paladin because, well, since I'd already started in Paladin, that is now my fighting guild. And if I don't level in Paladin, I won't be able to kill things in melee combat. As far as I understand it, according to what someone on the forums who knows a lot more than I do about the game told me. So if that's not true, blame him, not me. Anyway, it's been quite some time since I've played Mordor, so how are you guys doing? How's life? Things are going decently well for me. If you've noticed, I've been trying to upload more regularly to the channel. I've been doing a lot more Fire Emblem stuff. It's been something I've just really been enjoying. As of recording this right now, I've finished recording my entire Fire Emblem 3 Mystery of the Emblem Blind Iron Man. So that's been enjoyable to go through. I've not finished uploading all of them yet. I think I'm only in... I'm just starting uploading book 2 right now. I'm like chapter 3 of book 2 in my uploads. But my actual... Why are these keys not quite aligned where I want them to be? That saddens me. But yeah, so I've definitely been... Why? Why does it only do 2 groups if group 2's dead? Charm of Opening 8. Okay. I definitely have some issues with Fire Emblem 3 as a game after playing Book 2. I think overall it's fine, but just the level design definitely takes a nosedive in a lot of ways that are just... I don't want to spoil too much of my thoughts on the game, because... I mean, that's what I'm going to be going over in those videos, but... it just doesn't seem... Trying to think how to even put it. There were some things that I felt like forced. There were a lot of times where I felt forced into a very specific strategy. And, you know, that's fine in theory, but when the strategy is always... okay, step forward slowly, lead out the enemies with the few units you have that can survive, and then jump on them on player phase and take 2 more steps forward, and repeat ad nauseum. You know, I just get sick of it, you know? And Book 1 had a little bit of that, but not much. Book 2 was like half the game was that. It was not the most enjoyable thing, shall I say. But I finished it. I did indeed finish my Iron Man. It worked well. It was finishable. I should be careful on your pin. I'm just gonna go back right now. Why am I going back right now if I'm... yeah, because that's the Ard place, and the other thing is just the Goblin King, and that's not gonna... Goblin Lord, whoops. I'm also in school again, which is... there's someone outside that's cheering. I don't know what they're saying, but that is weird. Yeah, I'm in school again, which I personally enjoy. I really enjoy learning. Don't necessarily enjoy homework and having very little time for myself, but I do certainly enjoy the learning aspect. Like having an open mind, being informed about a lot of things. And what was it? Was it Alt S to sell? Yes, it was. As long as I don't hit Windows key S. Yeah, I definitely enjoy the process of learning, even if it does take up a lot of time and can stress me out a bit. Meeting new people is an enjoyable experience as well. And it's not really something I've been able to do in the past year or two without being out and about, as it were. Okay, let's just pin real quick, get back to town because I'm not quested. And suddenly, or not so suddenly, we're level 34 and must defeat a giant centipede. How difficult. Control C, Shift C. Is it just me, or is my keyboard... not functioning properly. Like, there's more delay between everything that I'm doing than usual. Also, the fact that I can't hit a footpad to save my life, that's probably not a good thing. Yeah, overall my life has been decent. Fire Emblem's been doing pretty alright for the channel. I mean, it's... well, I'll say it how it is. I'm an amateur YouTuber who's hasn't been... oh, yeah. I'm an amateur YouTuber who hasn't really been taking it too seriously, so my channel's taken a long time to grow. It's doing, you know, alright. But the fact that I've, you know, had it for 4 or 5 years now, granted there were 2 of those years where I was literally doing nothing to it, and I'm hitting about 80 subs now, about. I mean, I haven't really been doing, like, crazy innovative content, to be perfectly honest. I'm understanding of that fact. I understand that I completed my quest somewhere. Wasn't even paying attention. Just getting into autopilot mode now. Yeah, this very slight delay. I think it's because I'm exporting a video in the background, and that's probably taking up a decent amount of processing power somehow. You know what, maybe I should take the other stairs and then just bounce between the Fire Dragon and the Dwarven Lords. Get some good experience that way. Especially with my floor 4 that respawns 10 times as fast as it should. Yeah, things have been doing alright. I've been feeling a lot more better about things. I've been actually learning how to edit a little bit. I don't know exactly how much of that's going to come into play here for Mordor, but oh yeah, they're immune to mind. What am I doing with my life? I'm casting Summon Shade on ants. What could possibly go wrong? Aside from everything. But yeah, everything else is going alright. I definitely have been enjoying life, and that's good. It's good to enjoy life, good to be positive. Good to have things in your life that you care about, because if you don't, then, well, what are you doing? I am under no delusions that I can try to make any money out of YouTube, especially with them changing the way that they even allow you to monetize. Because now you can't even start monetizing until you have at least, was it 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of content watched in the last 6 months or 12 months. Which, you know, granted, that's not terrible, but still, it's... that's... like, it's not like, you know, you'd be earning any sort of money before that point, and I don't really know why they felt the dire need to change it, but they did. I don't know what type of thing they're targeting that this limitation specifically counteracts. Doesn't seem to really make any sense to me, but again, I'm not the person who runs analytics at YouTube. Thank goodness, those will probably be getting a lot of death threats all the time, because everyone hates the way YouTube's running itself right now. Or rather, the way YouTube's been running itself for the last, like, 5 years. But more so recently. Yeah, so I'm under no delusions that I'm going to ever be able to, like, make any sort of money from this. And if I somehow do get 1,000 subs, that will be very surprising to me. It will probably be due to some random person with a lot of views noticing some random video I do at one point in time or another, and just being like, hey, this guy's cool. And then suddenly I get, 10,000 subs out of nowhere, and it's like, what is going on? I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, unless that happens, I'm just gonna stay, back down to where I am, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine being a little channel that no one really knows about, because that way I don't have any responsibilities. I'm not beholden to anyone. I can just do what I enjoy, and I'm now pinned. And have another Delvar's War Axe. Isn't that wonderful? Oh wait, that's a wall. I can't read. It's another thing I need to do. I need to get back into my optometrist and... Is it optometrist or ophthalmologist? I forget which one's what. I need to get my eyes checked again because... Like, ever since these last couple months, I worked data entry for a time. And... It was like ever since that, I've really noticed I can't... Like, even with my glasses, everything's blurry. Everything's just a little out of focus. And I'm not sure if the data entry did anything to it, or if it's just me getting older, or what happened. But I just can't see very well. And it's been causing problems. Not major ones, not like car crashes, but minor inconveniences, like having to zoom in farther, not really being able to read quite as effectively as I'd like to. Oh yeah, I don't have to keep typing it in every time, don't I? So to get it ready, I can just double tap and enter, C, enter, enter, and have it be fine. Okay, make level, no quests. Of course. Do I have one in confinement? Probably do. Oh, search. See, I can't read. Like, I literally can't see enough to read. Companion number whatever is your giant owl. Nope. Wasn't even fast enough to cast Soul Entrapment. Oh, it's been too long since I played this. It's been far too long. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so let's see. I need to get my eyes checked. I don't really think I... Well, don't really think. I know that I'm not gonna, like, do anything with YouTube over the long run. Like, even if I somehow get a lot of subs, like, I'm still just gonna be doing it, part-time, amateur. It's not what I want to be doing with my life, Which I think is fine, and I think that there should be a lot of people who, what is... One sec, let me type first, because apparently that's difficult. Yeah, the R is not typing. There we go. I don't know why the R is not typing, but it isn't, and I just have to live with it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I have more spells than I should. Maybe just because my intelligence and whatnot are super high, and so I just have more spell points than I'm used to. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's... Maybe this is just me, and I know I shouldn't, have... it's not up to me to have the mindset that everyone should think like this, I had a coworker who was very much, oh, they should do this, they should do that. That's not fair. They should really have it to be this way or be that way. And it's like, I'm sorry, bless his soul, he was the most annoying person to be around, and for some reason he glommed onto me. And would never, like, as soon as he saw me, he would never stop talking to me. It just... I don't know if it's just because I was the only one who wasn't a jerk to him or something about it. But my goodness, if I wasn't as... If I wasn't, like, programmed to be polite, I would not have been a very good person to him. I am sorry. But people who just complain about literally everything and ignore any reason to the contrary drive me up the freaking wall. My goodness, if I have to hear that phrase one more time, which, let's be honest, everyone right now in the world, it seems, is obsessed with saying, oh, things should be different, things should be this way, things should be that way, I don't get why things are the way they are, which, it's fine. It's good to question things, it's good to, ask questions, it's how we grow as a society, it's good to want to change things that are broken. But, pro tip, this is gonna sound weird, the connection I'm gonna make, but bear with me. Pro tip, if you want something to change, think about how you would change it, and how that would affect all the connected parts. If you want something to change, the first thing people do is said, oh, I want that to be like this. That's great, but that doesn't do anything. That doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, I want, the United States to have the same type of government as Denmark. It's like, sure, great. I'm sure Denmark has a great government for Denmark. The United States is, 100 times bigger than Denmark, with how many times more people? I don't know. It's freaking enormous, and literally every person in the United States thinks differently than you do. There are some people who would love to live in Denmark. There are some people who would absolutely despise living in Denmark. There are some people who don't even know what the word Denmark is, The world is full of a lot of different types of people and a lot of different complex things interworking. Oh wow, 4 Dray spiders want to join. They're gonna last like 5 seconds. And if you want things to change, that's fine. But at least think about the effects of that change and, like, have a rational explanation for why that change would possibly work. Because if you're just sitting there complaining of, oh, this should be the way it is and that should be the way it is, and someone comes to you and says, look, there's a reason why it's not that way, and here's the reason, and it's a valid explanation, don't just sit there and ignore everything they say and it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, but I still think that it should be a different way. It's like, I'm sorry, but that's not the way society works. If society worked based on the way one person thought it should work, pro tip, that's called a dictatorship. It's called an absolute dictatorship. Because even in normal dictatorship, there's a lot of people that the orders have to go through that can shape things. But if it's one person, and that one person is the person who's deciding how everyone should live their lives, no, I'm sorry, but you don't get to do that. Sure, you might disagree that people, like famous sports stars, get paid millions and millions of dollars. You might think that they should, donate their. This is an actual argument that he was saying. It's like, I disagree that they're getting millions of dollars. I think that they should just donate that all to charity, and that they, should just keep enough money to live off of. And it's like, okay, nice as that sounds, just because they're not getting that money doesn't mean the money's not going to charity. It's like, sure, let me rephrase that. Just because you lower the pro player's salary doesn't inherently mean that that money goes to poor people. That's the money just goes back in the pocket of the person, of the manager, and the manager gets all that money because people buy tickets, and people buy tickets, and that all that money gets spent to create the team, broadcast everything, stadium upkeep, all these types of things. And if you don't, I don't know, it's a complex world, and I'm not an economics major, so I don't know everything, but I still know at least enough to say, just because one thing changes doesn't inherently mean that a second thing has to happen. And just because you think, or even that is too far, because just because you think something should change doesn't mean it ever will. Doesn't mean that anyone else in the universe agrees with you. And even if a lot of people in the universe agree with you, it's the important people, the people who you're talking about changing their very livelihoods, who are the ones who need to agree with you. And you talking to me about this isn't gonna get them to change their minds. But that's just the argument that he was making, and it's like, okay, look. You can call me a cynic, you can call me, not a dreamer, you can call me whatever you want. I'd prefer to just be a realist about this, okay? I'd prefer to be able to say, this is just the way the world works. Not necessarily the way the world should work, not necessarily the way the world will always work, but it's the way the world works right now, and we all have to live in it, and we all kind of have to accept it, and if we don't accept it, well, we have to express our non-acceptance of it in a sensical way. If that makes any sense. Okay, I need to make sure that Did I not buy the Namana? Apparently I didn't. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Keeping the Namanas stocked. Anyway, the comparison that I mentioned that I never actually talked about is it's the comparison of, when Day 9 is streaming like Hearthstone or something, his rule is, okay, if you suggest a card for me to put in, you have to suggest a card for me to take out. And it's a similar way with society, I think. If you suggest a thing that you don't like in society, and it's like, oh, it should be this way, you're suggesting the change, like, think about the effects of that change and what other, think about the other side of that change, I guess I should say. I don't really know how to phrase it properly, what's in my head. And I need to focus to cast my spells, otherwise I'll miss something. I'll miss the R like that. And I try to retype it and I miss it again. Like I need to cast Resist Cold because I don't think that anyone actually casts Cold on me, except for Ice Demons. You know what? That's like 5 points. So I can spend the 5 points in case I run into a random Ice Demon, just so it won't deal 60 damage to me, and then I have to spend even more on that in terms of healing. Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to explain that right, but that's just the mindset of the world according to Mithril Zenith. as could be stated a different way, that's just the gospel according to Mithril Zenith, you know? That's... And, you know, some may call me a hypocrite for saying that because I'm suggesting a change of, you know, the possible hypocrisy is not lost on me. I'm suggesting a change in how other people should think. Even though I know that that's never going to change. But it's just an annoyance that I have, you know? It's like, I really... I don't know. I guess that's just my 2 cents on that topic. How did I get on this topic again? Let's play the Retrace My Train of Thought game. That's always a fun thing to do. So I was talking about this because I was talking about work. I remember talking about my eyesight getting stupid awful. Because I couldn't really read well. And... Oh, no one's respawned yet. So I must be just at the head of the pack or something with the respawning. Yes, I am. Yeah, I don't know how I got on that topic. I think I just kind of started into it. And then I was there. Ooh, Potion of Fitness. That's worth a decent amount of money. So what am I going to do with this? Well, it's the right picture, but not the right enemy. What am I going to do with this game, you might ask? Mithril Zenith, you've been playing this game for years. When are you going to finish it? Well, let me tell you something, weird strawman kid. I don't know. This game is like a vlog game for me, you know, just like play it to talk about my day and just to relax. I've never finished this game before, and I don't necessarily believe I'll finish it anytime soon. I don't know how else to say that outside from that way. I don't have anything against trying to finish the game, but I think it's just something I'll just always come back to Mordor. At least whenever I'm done with a project or two, if not during the project. This is nice. This is relaxing for me. It's something I just can kind of do and not really think about or worry about. Like I said, it's kind of inspired in a weird way by the WoW leveling series on WoW Krendor's channel, because it's like it's just me sitting here playing a really long game and just kind of talking about whatever comes to mind, because I mean, let's be honest, the game, how do I say this? It's interesting on a conceptual level, but the gameplay itself is so monotonous and so similar from episode, like from level to level. Like, until you start breaking into a brand new dungeon level, it really just becomes, I am pinned, and I've been pinned for like probably like 30 seconds now. But yeah, the gameplay is monotonous enough that it's... Like, I can totally see someone just listening to this, like, as if it were like a podcast, just on their way to work or, you know, at work doing data entry stuff, like what I was doing just last month. I don't know. I just feel like I need to be, you know, talking about interesting things to make things interesting. Dejenol. That's the level 2 demons? Yeah. Demons from level 2. Okay, doesn't seem too bad. Doesn't seem too bad at all. Bank it all. Yeah, that conversation started because I can't see the words I'm typing here, and I'm like 3 feet from the screen. No, probably like 2 feet away. Can't unequip. Item is cursed. I need to pay attention to what's happening. Because apparently I tried to unequip an item with one of those keys that I pressed. I don't know. Seems strange to me, but okay. Yeah, I just really like just being able to relax and not have to think about anything just for a minute or two. Or 37. Yeah, it's been about 37 minutes right now. And that's fine. It's nice and fine. Nice little break from my own personal homework, which is... I mean, it's not too much, but it's just more grunt work, which... Okay, so here's the part where it feels weird. Like, here's, like, just a meta thought for you. When it boils down to it, Mordor, the depths of Dejenol, is effectively grunt work. It's just, you know, monotonous going through, pressing keys to fight monsters and waiting for it to be over. Leveling up so I can do everything again and just slowly watch numbers increase. Ooh, rowdies. Oh wait, I already had 9 rowdies, whatever. And, you know, because it's effectively all grunt work, it's weird that I complain about when my homework seems like grunt work. Because then I go and play this, and this is somehow more interesting. Amazing what a fantasy setting can do. But it's also, I don't know. It's also the fact that, I don't know, really. Like, my homework doing a lot of, like, just grunt work calculations. It's like, I know how to do these now. I know how to calculate between wavelength and frequency. And all that. I know how to do it now. But I'm still doing more and more of these problems because, well, it's what I have to do, because they demand you show you can do it like 10 times apparently before you can, you know, before they can say, okay, you actually understand it. Oh, here's Dejenol. I've completed my quest. Yeah, this is really getting to me. I cannot actually read the things that I'm getting without, like, leaning into the screen and squinting. Like, refocusing my vision. I'm definitely going to make a call and set up an appointment, because that is Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. That does not mean good things, especially when it's like I've been reading so much and it's been getting harder. Don't know why it's been getting harder, just probably because my vision's getting worse. I'm just gonna finish this one run and then probably pack it up because I'm running out of things on my mind to say. And as soon as I finish this video, I'm gonna think of like 3 more things that I'm like, why didn't I talk about that? That's like really topical or something. I don't know. So definitely don't expect this to be the last video on Mordor. I can't necessarily confirm when the next Mordor vid will be, but playing this game again definitely makes me want to make more videos of it and play it even more, because just the way it works, it's like when you've been away from a game for a while, then it's like, well, you're gonna play it, then you're gonna remember why you enjoy it, even if it's just kind of monotonous. I just feel like I'm making progress at something, and that's a nice feeling. And it's just relaxing to just kind of ramble on, talk about, you know, whatever comes to mind. Something I don't actually get to do too much with Fire Emblem, because I'm always thinking too much about my next move and everything, especially when it's like when I'm doing, you know, an Iron Man type run. Well, that's cool, you know, I can focus on it and whatnot. There are times when I'm like, who's gonna watch this? And there are times when I'm like editing my own videos and I catch myself just like, oh, I just sat there for 5 minutes not editing anything, but just actually engaged in my own video just because it's, well, it's something that I'm interested in. And so I'd forgotten exactly how things went, so I was rewatching it, and, you know, happens surprisingly frequently for me. Just an oddity of life, as it were. One of many. I definitely enjoy just relaxing, not having to think about anything, and just hitting buttons on my keyboard, watching things go. Sometimes, at least. Not all the time, but sometimes. It's kind of like how I used to play a lot of RuneScape. I just, you know, that game and Mordor are more similar than you might think at first. At least the way I play it. I mean, I've never been like super into like PvP or all the quests. Like some of them are interesting, but I never like really cared super much. But that game is kind of like how I think people play Minecraft. Just something to chill out to, work on, you know, work on projects, get closer to a goal, or watch numbers go up or something. And like I said, more similar to how this game is. Mordor. It's fun. It's nice. 2 Charmers offered to join. That's great. And I can just, like, sit there and, you know, just watch things go. And, you know, I'm actually doing something. It's not like I'm just sitting there watching something, which is weird, because, like, I don't watch a lot of movies, but I can play games like this for some time. Granted, I still have to be doing something else. Like, I'm talking over right now. If I wasn't talking over this game, I would definitely be listening to a video or a podcast while I'm doing this. In fact, after I stop this video... Okay, after I stop this video, I need to get going on my homework. But, you know, next time that I have another video I'm watching that I'm not really having to pay, like, that's not really, like, super engaging, like another LP or something that I'm watching, or listen to another podcast, I might just pop this game open again. Just do some grinding, because it's, like I said, it's relaxing. It occupies my active concentration. My goodness. This is gonna mean nothing to anyone else, but I just had a sudden revelation on a thing that I have no idea how to test, but that I want to test and I want to prove exists. Because it's an argument I've been using for years. It's that I can focus better listening to things when my active concentration is doing something else. Because if I am not actively doing something else, but it has to be something monotonous. If I'm not doing something monotonous, then my brain will, like, get distracted and start thinking of different thoughts and, like, go off on random tangents and who knows, and then suddenly I'm not paying attention to what's being said at all. Whereas, if I'm doing something that doesn't take a lot of thought process, then I can just kind of go on autopilot doing that, and then my attention is actually on what's being said. This is, I think, where the benefit of taking notes comes in handy, because it's less the fact of that you have something that you're going to look back and remember on, because, let's be honest, half the time you take a note in a class, you never review it at all. But it's, like it certainly can be that, and I definitely have been reviewing my notes for some of the classes I'm in. But it's also a lot more related to the fact that when you are doing, at least for me, when I'm doing something, when I'm writing it down, that means that I'm spending my active attention on that topic, as well as my passive attention listening about that topic, which then means I'm a lot more able to actually learn information and take it in, and not just have it be said around me, but I'm not actually paying attention to it. Oh shoot, that is not the button combination. Alt-C closes the why does that do that? No, Alt-X. Exit, I guess. Okay, sure. Whatever. Oh. Oh, nope, nope, nope. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22... already sold 22, 21, 20... Yeah, that's the way my brain works, and it's something that's a theoretical concept that I would like to test. I'm taking psychology classes, and I need to think up theoretical constructs that are testable. I just don't know if it's actually testable, like how I would test that. But it's something that I find interesting. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been... It's actually been quite a relief, and able to help me get my thoughts straight and in order. I like doing this. I need to do more Mordor videos. As always, this is Mithril Zenith signing out. Have a great day, everyone, and see you next time.